what really is an objection? Is it as serious as it sounds, or is it just as simple as people not objecting, but breaking flow to a conversation because they don't see the value in something, which could be a misunderstanding, or they just don't quite understand what's being asked? So as you look at the goal of overcoming objections is not with crafty one-liners, but most importantly, the goal is to get back into the flow of a conversation. So sometimes we just need to seek to understand, which could be as simple as if somebody said no to providing you the opportunity to send them a home value or a CMA, you could just ask simply, really, what makes you say that? Well, therefore, then they're probably going to give you some feedback on why they don't want their home value or their CMA, which now gives you context and a much better understanding to understand their experience around that, what their understanding of it is, and could there be or would there be something that maybe would be helpful? And therefore, then by overcoming and getting back into a conversation, you now turn a no into a yes because they see value in what you're asking. Now, the next part of those, what about more serious objections, like people wanting to wait because mortgage rates are high, or people wanting to wait because they don't quite understand what's happening in the market? See, the problem with that is it's not objection because they haven't made a decision. They're waiting, which is the worst. So for us, our paychecks and their livelihoods are most likely waiting on a decision to be made. So that's what we want to try to do. So as you start looking at, now that you better understand objections, really what we want to do is clarify that the objection is what you heard. So if I'm hearing you right, what's preventing you guys from buying a home right now is the mortgage rate percentage? No. It's the monthly payment for the type of home we want. See, that's a lot different, right? Because there are creative ways that maybe we could find out how to get them the home they want within a certain payment, even though maybe rates didn't change. And you saw a lot of that creativity happen, but we need to get into conversation with people to share with them what that looks like. So after we look at clarifying the objection, we can agree and apologize. You can feel, felt, found. Common ways to just show empathy, but what you're letting people know is you agree that the market is confusing to many people. You apologize that as a first-time buyer, they're having to go through a correcting market with a lot of changes that have happened dramatically fast. But the good news is, all right, which goes back to now looking at this as a positive, is after you agree and apologize, you want to find out, is that the only objection? So hearing you, it sounds like the affordability, but are there any other concerns that are preventing you from buying a home? And if there's no other concerns, do you see how now you've isolated the objection? So you can say, great, well, here's the good news, what we're going to do, or so here's what we're going to do then. See, by making it inclusive, it's you versus the objection or concern versus you versus them. So as soon as you isolate the objection, you're now able to let them know, so here's what we're going to do. But before we do, let me get this right. And show me that you know me, you're able now to utilize something called a summary close, which would sound something along the lines of, so let me get this right. You would like to buy a home in the next 12 months. However, with where the mortgage rates are and the current payment terms, you've decided that now might not be the right time. However, you do understand that these rates are adjustable and you're most likely not going to be fixed into them for a long term. And you don't want to wait too long to make sure you don't miss out on the opportunity that comes from the time of owning the home. And you do feel comfortable about your current job, the income you're making, and the stability you have to continue to make these payments, which even though they're more expensive than where they were, you are comfortable and you can afford the current payments. Yes. Okay. So then let me ask you, why would you not buy a home? Or what would prevent you from buying a home? You see, the summary close is really just repeating all the things they've told you to the point where maybe now they don't see a reason behind it either. But at the same time, they may, and now you can actually work to overcome those by creating a plan. Well, knowing that there is a reason, let's start working through our plan over time to figure out how to overcome it. So that way, again, you don't miss out on the opportunity when it comes, which did happen to a lot of people in the market of 2022 to 2023 if they did not carry on conversations when they received objections, which was when people said they were waiting, the agent just didn't know what to do next. So remember, we always need a next action. What makes you say that is a common way of curiosity to a low-level objection. And the high level, we need to go through these steps to isolate them, agree, apologize, better understand, a summary close, and find out maybe there isn't a reason. They just needed to hear all the things they're thinking out loud.